Skibbity beep bop a scoo boo. Skibbity beep bop ba da ba dow. Hey, Jordan here. A little pre-video announcement. I know these Q&A and tech talk videos can get a little lengthy, so don't forget there are timestamps down below. Go ahead and skim through, find what interests you. What up, everybody? Welcome back. And if this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. We are back in our usual spot. Today, we are going to be answering a couple comments that we received on our last two videos in regards to the front pipe for the 22 Plus WRX. So with that said, without further ado, let's just jump right into those comments. Our first comment was from GhostWolf223. They say, definitely interesting to see a multi-piece design. Seems to make it more complicated when it could be a single piece like some others already on the market.
Well, we didn't do one piece for a lot of reasons, but the most important one is shipping. The factory part is really long. The cost to ship a single piece version of our part would be a $40 upcharge compared to our multi-piece design. So while a lot of times customers don't pay for shipping, somebody's paying for the shipping, and it is a cost associated with the part for somebody somewhere, a dealer, us, whatever. So making it three pieces allows us to fit it in a really tiny box, and it can ship, especially for someone that lives in Hawaii, where the shipping cost on that might be like a couple $100.
Oh yeah.
That might be $400 for the long part. So anyways, multi-piece design saves you on shipping and ultimately costs. Another reason for the multi-piece design is being able to install this part a little bit easier for customers, being able to install them and adjust the pieces as they're bolting them on the car, with being able to rotate them, lengthen them a little bit.
Just makes for easier installation.
Much easier installation, especially with other aftermarket parts where even though everyone tries to make everything as perfect as possible, they tend to not be. And so being able to adjust the back for the cat back to fit perfectly, or a different J-pipe or header turbo, whatever combination that kind of changes how the parts fit, it helps solve that problem.
We had two other comments, one from Mr. Subaru 5367 and another from the Subi Slider 17. They were both very much on the same regards as GhostWolf223. Again, we understand there is multiple people kind of questioning the multi-piece design, but, just trying to help you and kind of everyone as a whole out, cut down on shipping costs, and ideally make it an easier installation. And like you stated, fit with other aftermarket parts that you might already have on your car, you might be looking to get further down the road.
Another reason is if this cat ever needs to be replaced, the cost to replace this is a lot less expensive than the whole thing, which in the end does, that could save someone a few $100s if they only need to replace the back half. And then looking out way ahead, if we ever have a front section, the cost of that is even less expensive to upgrade to instead of having to buy a whole thing or whatever. So anyways, sorry.
Well, no, you're fine. And actually, while we're talking about the cat, might just be a good time to reassure people that it is a G Sport or a Jessie cat, depending on who you've heard them by. They kind of go by both names. But because we have a catted front pipe, we have a no check engine light guarantee. I know there's multiple front pipes for the car on the market right now, but in our development and trying to come up with a name for it and kind of trying to figure out design, price, and whatnot, there's a few out there that don't have cats.
Yeah, you gotta have cats. I mean, this day and age, there's no reason to not have a cat. It does add some cost, but for the environment, you need a cat. You will never have a check engine light with our part, which is really, really important. But removing the cats in the car and going catless is just, it's not something anybody should be doing. The fines are outrageous, and you're going to get in big trouble. So we stick with the parts as a proper EPA approved cat. for that car, and it is expensive, which we can hit on some of that later on. But yeah.
Peter Tran 4025 says, "Come on, guys. For a high-end brand to use a butt clamp, could have used a V-band or a 2-bolt flange for the price point."
They're not just the typical AutoZone butt clamp strap-on kind of weird thing. These are an OEM level. They seal 360 degrees around the part. These are used in tons of OEM applications. So it isn't just the typical cheapo butt clamp you might find. And in fact, the cost of this part is about $40. That's about the same cost as the V-band, so it's not like we're saving a lot of money. We are saving some money with welding and whatnot, but I love these things for a lot of reasons because it takes a precision cut tube. It still seals perfectly on it. It allows for rotation, some length adjustment. So anytime we can use these things, they really are great. V-band is okay when you are building custom one-offs where you can weld something on the car and make it perfect. But V-bands, in a lot of cases, are too perfect because stainless steel moves when you weld it. And a V-band clamp is so precise that besides some rotation, you have no other adjustment to it. So it, especially as you add multiple joints, it adds multiple potential errors for how it fits at the back of the car. And so that's the beauty of these things is there is rotation, some length, but there actually is a little bit of angular adjustment to them as well. And I love them for that. So and also they're really slim. These can fit in a really tight area, whereas you get a V-band, you're talking add another good half-inch all the way around at minimum. So
well, and I think a lot of the time people's worry with this style of clamp, there is a fear of them leaking. But at the end of the day, as long as you install it correctly, you're not going to have any issues with leaking.
Yeah.
They seal it fine. Just do your due diligence to make sure you install it correctly, and you shouldn't have any issues. Segue into our next comment we had, which came from Jerry Neutron. He commented and said, $1K for an intermediate pipe. Now, of course, it's kind of a jab at the price for our front pipe. But with that statement, you are getting what you pay for. We're using 304 stainless. We've got TIG welds. So the whole thing is corrosion resistant, especially if you're living in those areas where there's salt in the roads and whatnot. You're going to have a, better withholding exhaust component. And the TIG welds are going to hold up for a long, long time.
Most of the cost is the cat. This cat is $600. This cat is a large part of our cost. And we could have done something that was cheaper that may not be quite approved. But that's just not okay. This is the proper cat for this car. That's why we chose to use it. And it does make for an expensive part, but we can also stand behind it. The company who makes these cats can stand behind it. And we know that we'll never throw a check engine on your car.
There is a concern if there is a tune required. No, there's no tune required. If you're looking for some bigger performance boosts or gains and whatnot, yeah, slap your cob access port with it, and you'll see some bigger changes.
So you were talking about no tune required. Comes up all the time. How can this make power not require a tune? Well, the computer in the car is really smart. It sees more airflow. It knows what to do with it. It's not like some cars where they may not use an airflow sensor and it doesn't know, so they might require a tune. But in the case of every Subaru, especially exhaust-related components, the additional airflow this thing allows the engine to see. It's going to make the 15 or so wheel horsepower, and the computer is going to know what to do with it. It's going to know to add more fuel. It's going to run perfectly fine.
Some of the performance gains you'll see with the installation of the front pipe.
Yeah, so the power that it makes is basically about 15 wheel horsepower, so about 15 max foot-pounds of torque. The tests that we've done lots of stages of the car, but the one on our website is of a stock car, stock tune. The car had a catback installed, and then we did nothing but put the front pipe on. And so those gains are pretty healthy. And again, without a tune, that's pretty awesome. And you're definitely going to feel that. And with a tune, those gains turn into like a Cobb Stage 1 tune, same car. They turn into about 5 or 6 extra on top of that. But that's also with even more power because of the tune. So it's a great part for the car.
Nice.
And yeah, everyone should feel comfortable installing and not having to worry about tuning it and having other problems with the car.
And that's what we like to hear. We want those simple parts, easy to do, throw them on a Saturday morning or something like that, and then go for a nice little drive. We are down to our last comment that we wanted to address here. This is from IB Jones. Is the donut gasket not being used anymore?
Yeah.
Simple answer is no, it's not.
No donut gasket. We really steer clear from the donut gaskets on every Subaru exhaust we make because the donut gasket has a much smaller ID than a 3-inch pipe. So if this is in use, that means you have this 3-inch pipe that then gets necked down to 2 1/4-ish. And so you're restricting flow if you're using a donut gasket. On our front pipe assembly, we designed to fit with most catbacks, and our catback that has a 3-inch flange, so it uses the simple flat gasket to connect it together. In properly designed catback will have a flex joint built into that to absorb the vibrations and everything that goes on with an engine. And so like our catback or mid pipe piece has that flex joint in it instead of the donut gasket, because that's the point of the donut gasket, is it allows for some vibration to be absorbed. So we get rid of it, don't need it for your benefit.
All right. Looks like it is just me for the outro. Jeff had some machine shop duties to attend to. If Jeff and I didn't answer any of your questions or comments in regards to our front pipe, leave a comment down below and we will get back to you. If you did not already see the 22 plus WRX Q&A video that we did, go ahead and check that out right here. And if you are interested or have already gotten the front pipe, check out this video right here on how to install it. And if you enjoyed the video, y'all know what to do.
God damn it, Jordan, what the fuck are you promising for? I don't have this available yet.